Hello, and welcome to my digital arts academic rationale presentation. I'll give a brief overview of my social campaign. So the title will be We Chop and We Chop and We Tear the House Down. The topic and social issue I'll be looking at is deforestation. The charity organisation I'll be pairing with is WWF. And the fable I'll be linking it to is The Three Little Pigs. And the outcome format of my project will be a poster and billboard series. So the topic I'll be looking at is deforestation, which is the chopping down and removal of trees to clear an area of forest. The specific area within this topic that I'll be tackling is deforestation in tropical rainforests and how this is impacting animal species. So I've done a lot of background research looking at the causes, the countries most affected, the impact, the animals most affected, and possible solutions. I looked at lots of graphs and charts. This gave me more of a statistical and well-rounded understanding of the topic. I also looked at the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals website. Goal 15 is life on land, so tackles deforestation and other similar topics. After conducting the research, I started to look at existing visual media and campaigns related to deforestation. So here's a mood board that I created with some of my initial thoughts, ideas, and inspiration. One specific campaign that I really liked was Destroying Nature is Destroying Life by Robin Wood. I really like how he depicts the animals combined with the destroyed habitats. I think this is a really striking and unique way of showing this issue. The charity organisation that I'll be pairing with is WWF. Some of their main goals are restoring biodiversity and achieving sustainable development. They have done previous campaigns on deforestation such as #TogetherForForests. I will be using WWF's campaigns as reference and inspiration, but I plan to take my campaign down a different route, visually and narratively. Theirs tend to rely heavily on photography and photo manipulation, whereas I want mine to be more illustrative to try and make it stand out from previous campaigns. And here are a few more examples of their campaigns linked to deforestation. I have chosen to connect my social campaign to the classic English fable of the Three Little Pigs. This is about three pigs that build their houses from different materials. A big bad wolf comes along and blows down the first two houses, which were made of straw and stick, but he can't blow down the third house, which is made of bricks. So the idea and moral behind the story is that hard work and dedication pay off. The narrative of my social campaign will be that the three pigs have been replaced by three endangered animals, and that the big bad wolf is represented by human activity. The narrative will be that most of the forest is destroyed and there's only one bit left. My images will ask the question, can we stop this before there's total destruction and their last house is destroyed? I want my social campaign to carry the same meaning and moral as the original fable. Hard work and dedication will pay off, but I want it to be applied to a different context. I'd like to convey the idea that to fix a problem as big and serious as deforestation, it won't be a simple solution, but there are lots of steps that we can take individually to help improve it. The title of my campaign will be We Chop and We Tear the House Down, which is a play on the famous rhyme from the Three Little Pigs, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. The title of each poster will vary depending on which endangered species I'm depicting. For example, it could be the Three Little Chimpanzees. The slogan I plan to use is Can we save their last house? Here are some more details about my social campaign. So the purpose is to raise awareness and be a call to action, get people to rethink about their choices and make more sustainable decisions. The format of my outcomes will be a series of posters and digital billboards. The digital technology that I'll use is Photoshop, Procreate, and InDesign. I'll use Photoshop and Procreate to create my illustrations, and then I'll use InDesign to make them as posters with the text. My campaign will be based in the UK, so that the connection with the Three Little Pigs will resonate with audiences. But within the UK, I'm trying to reach a wide audience to maximise engagement. I'm aiming for children and adults to be engaged by the visuals and the narrative. Then it was time to look for some more specific visual inspiration, so I looked at a series of different illustrators, many of which work in children's books. On screen now are some examples of illustrators whose work I really like. I want the style of my campaign to really stand out from previous deforestation campaigns, hopefully reach a different audience and evoke different emotions within the viewer. I then started to look at possible fonts that I could use for inspiration to other campaigns and examples of the Three Little Pigs books to see the style they use. I'm going to aim for simple, bold fonts that are appropriate for the meaning and topic of my campaign. I want two contrasting palettes, one that's very bright and inviting with greens and warm tones of pink and orange, and one that's much more muted with greys and browns. Here are some different compositional ideas for the posters of my campaign. A key idea across these sketches is to have a layered composition which has a visual hierarchy. In the foreground are the chimpanzees and flourishing plants, which will be in the vibrant colour palette to draw the viewer's eye. As they explore the image more, they will just see the destruction in the background, in the more muted tones. The image shows the moment of the narrative, where they're hoping that their final house won't be destroyed. I also experimented with generative AI on Adobe Firefly. On the screen is the final prompt I used to get these images. I kept adding and removing bits of description in order to get outcomes I was happy with. I added my compositional sketches and artist references to get the images in the style, composition and aesthetic that I was looking for. And finally, here's my reference list. Thank you for watching my presentation. I look forward to continuing working on this project.